Because we know people who should be successful, but what? They're not successful. Why?
So that's his why buy. But what is he afraid of?
My personal style of education, but still entertain them, bring them along with stories, right?
Who do we want to learn from? People who are what? Killing it. If you're a real man, what do you do? I'm not the only one.
You can't wait to tell your spouse. You can't wait to tell your colleague. You can't wait to go to work and tell somebody. And you're like, oh my God, I can't wait. So what happened?
If you haven't seen my TV show, you should get cable. That's what you need to do.
From doing a TV show to doing corporate events, I've been so lucky to connect with many passionate entrepreneurs worldwide.
What I've learned from a business perspective.
Because this is the formula for success, no matter who you talk to. Attitude will drive your behavior. Would you agree? And your behavior will drive your consequences every single time.
All right, we got the concept. Okay, we got the concept. We got the equipment, right? We got the brand. You guys got that. And then again, we got the content that we create. That's the easy part. This is the big one, the big C, which is the commitment.
What should you do? That's right. All right. 10Xers, do not fail me. True test. Here it comes.
There's skill, and then there's will. Listen to what I'm saying. There is skill, and then there is will. And here's the interesting thing. I know a lot of people who have a lot of skill, but have no what? Will, right? You ever look at somebody who's successful, and you say, why them, why not you? Yes, okay, that's me too.
You have more control, but your costs are also going to be what? Higher.
Now, here's where some of the magic is starting to kick in.
You can talk to any CEO in the B2B business, any CEO. You walk into his office and they only care about three things. People too. Yeah, he with the suit, put it up. There you go. I hope you can see this. I'll try to draw big. Let's pretend for a moment that I had 7 territories. You remember I wrote that out? Yes or no? Boom. Territory 2, territory 3, all the way to territory number what? 7. So now I've segmented my market.
So content is going to start being created by machines. And I'm telling you right now that those people, you guys, the content creators that connect with people are the ones that are going to win. Some people think, well, it won't work for my industry. Really? It'll work for any industry. Trust me. The majority of the time when we're looking to fix something, repair something, or learn something, where do we go? YouTube. We don't even want to read anymore. We go to YouTube. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong.
When you're doing your thing, beautiful things begin to happen. It's like the law of attraction kicks in. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're in line with the universe. Everything works. And when you do your thing, everybody gets an automatic MBA, which stands for what? Mega Bank Account Money. Are you with me? So we don't want to do a thing. We want to do a what? Beautiful.
All right, put it all together for Victor Antonio. Here we go.
All right, there we go. I'm not here to mess around. You ready to learn, yes or no?
That's how it works in today's market. Whether it's B2B or B2C, you see the similar pattern. How do you just, in other words, say you got to start doing these things, pushing them, but also encouraging them. Oh, look at this. This is where it gets, dude, this is like so interactive with audiences, Matt. Can you imagine this with your customers? Check this out. Now, what does all this have to do with selling? It has everything to do with selling.
All right, welcome to another episode of Sales After Dark, where money never sleeps. We're now starting a new year. Now, I debated whether to actually go live tonight or not. I figured everybody's still, just enjoying the kind of the post-New Year thing. So, but I think, why not? I even told Chris Stone I wasn't coming out, but I just said, why not? Let's do this thing. So anyway, we got to come. By the way, if you're first time at Sales After Dark, here's how it works. I'm going to say hi to some of my friends, and then we're going to get into some content, and then we'll get into some Q&A. So conversation, content, and then we'll close it out with Q&A. So anyway, we got my girl. There she is. What a way to start out the year. First one on the board, Mia Knox, West Coast in the house. Mia, Happy New Year. Hope you had a great New Year. Hope you celebrated well. I know California's going through some issues, so hang in there. Hope you're staying safe. My man, Ruben Lowing from Texas, McAllen, Texas, man. Ruben, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining me. Patrick, what's happening? Man, we're going to try to do it, man. We're going to try to get you going. I'm going to ask for some commitment. Let's see if we can get some goals going. There's my man, Chris Stone. By the way, if you notice the new intro's got some cool graphics and all kinds of cool stuff. That's my man, Chris Stone. By the way, I got his link in the description. If you want to get a hold of him, I use Chris for my podcast, my video editing. I mean, if you're looking for somebody to really do a great job for you, that's the man. It's the first guy I've ever really worked with and worked with well. Enjoy working with him. So give him a shout if you need him. Also, Abu, what's happening? Hello, Victor. I joined your... Wait a minute. I need a glass for this one. I joined your Sales Velocity Academy, and I have to admit my communication skills have improved a lot, and the whole mindset towards sales has changed. Yes, Abu. That's what I'm talking about, man. Thank you, man. Great feedback, by the way. Thank you for joining me. Let me see who else we got. Oh, this is Zinor. Did I get it right? Zinor. Greetings from Istanbul. Thank you for being here on Sales After Dark. First time I've seen your name, so if it's the first time, welcome here for the first time. My man, Henry Lee, what's happening? Sunday night consistency. Got to be consistent. We're going to talk about consistency, Henry. And so, Mia Knox, thank you. Appreciate it. Patrick, what's happening? My industry is about to jump into a big, busy period. Thank you for jumping on to help, man. Patrick, good luck with that. Let's make 2020 a great year, man. So, it's really interesting, right, Patrick, if you think about it? How some industries, are doing this, but then other industries are just taking off, man. And, that warrants some consideration and maybe discussion. Maybe in the future Sales After Dark, we'll talk about, industries that are going that way and maybe some that are going that way. Aaron Chow, what's happening from Singapore, man? Thank you. Happy New Year to you. Kevin B, what's happening all the way from Toronto, man? Stay warm up there. Aaron Espinoza, Teotil. I think I got that maybe right, Teotil. Anyway, saludos hermano Mexico. Feliz Año Nuevo. Thank you for joining me. Awesome intro. That's Chris Stone, man. It is an awesome intro. Happy New Year from New York. Right back at you, man. Right back at you. Jose, what's happening? Montoya from Newport Beach. Happy New Year, brother. We got Victor. Good looking. Bella. I know it's Bella, but you say Bella, man. We are ready for the fire, man. We're going to try to do something. Greg, what's happening from Vancouver, Canada, man? Appreciate you being here, man. We got... okay, I got it right. Thank you, man. I was close. At least close. Thank you for being polite. Manish, my man. Hey, VA, good morning from India. You're becoming my inspirational, man. Love your content. Thank you, brother. I feel that. Happy New Year to you, man. Happy New Year. Firat. I'm going to go with Firat. I think it's Firat, man. Evening greetings from Caitlin and Firat. We are going to make some connections and sales tomorrow. That's how you do it. Let's kick off that first Monday just like that with that mindset. I love that, man. That's where it wins. Tiana, what's happening? Happy New Year. Thank you for joining. My man, Mr. Dress the Man himself, Mark Fonseca, the guy that dresses me, makes me look good. Check out the Pima sweater you got me, man. Check it out. That's the sweater you got me, man. Mark, thank you, man, for making me look good. Herb Walsh. Picking my cigar now. There you go. Pick it out. Make sure it's a good one. Smoke it slowly. Rod Vidre, what's happening? Happy New Year to you, Rod, man. The pen is working amazing. Love it, man. Thank you for coming in on the contest. In case you're wondering what he's talking about, I had a little, by the way, when I did episode 100, right before the, by the way, that's the bottle of champagne I actually popped that night. Ron was one of the people who actually won a pen. Rod, thank you again, man, for being, a champ, man. Just truly being a champ, man. I appreciate you. Albino Buffalo. I love that one already. My business is struggling financially. $4,000 left. How could you spend it to make it be the best bang for the buck? Albino Buffalo, it's really hard, without knowing what your business is and what you're trying to accomplish. So that's a big question, yeah, but be very careful if it's your last $4,000. Happy New Year's from Kent Carlisle, man. Looking towards 50 more. Come on, man. Come on, man. And thanks again for the beautiful pen. Thank you again for being part of the 100 episode celebration, man. That was awesome, man. So I'm glad you guys, by the way, I hope you guys posted pictures of the pens I sent, man. Those are some real nice pens. By the way, every time I give up a pen, it's really hard. It's like they're giving up one of my children. Belgian Babat, Happy New Year from Boston. Happy New Year right back here. Stay warm. We got Kavar Zahir. I think I got that right. Kavar Zahir. Let's get going, man. I'm about to get going in a little bit. A couple more. Tiana, so excited for New Year's goals. Let's talk goals. I'm gonna share with you my goals, Tiana, so you're gonna see that. Abu, I have a phenomenal track record of doing a great job in fundraising in a local community. I wonder how I could leverage that to get sales job while having no work experience in sales. If you're working at a fundraiser, by the way, fundraising is selling. You realize that, Abu, right? Fundraising is selling. So I've worked with fundraising companies in the past, nonprofits, that actually have to sell on the phone to get donors. So it's selling, man. Any way you look at it, you are selling, my friend. All right, so a couple more, then we'll just jump into tonight's discussion. Happy New Year, Victor. I wish you and the family a wonderful year. Thank you very much, Shana. Appreciate that. Thank you. Brush off your collar, VA. Mark Fonseca's represented. Mark is the man. Mark is the man. Posting the pics of your beautiful pen in LinkedIn tomorrow, man. There you go, man. Enjoy that. Sign that big contract on there. My girl, Yasmin. We're going to do an event, I think, on the 16th. I think, right, Yasmin? So thank you for joining. Feliz Año Nuevo igualmente. Michael, thank you, VA. Signed up for your virtual training. Can't wait till January 15th. Oh, you're going to do it. So, by the way, I am doing a webinar. Chris Stone did a great intro for me. I am doing a webinar called the Virtual Engagement Masterclass. It is a 3-hour masterclass. There should be a description and link below. Join me. It's 3 hours of pure content where I'm going to get into, there's an intro video that I created on the page. Just hit the link below and it'll really get into some of the details of what I'm going to talk about. I mean, I'm going to go in depth. So if you want to connect with people virtually, you want to engage with clients, this is the masterclass for you. I'm going to go into detail, and I'm telling you, your brain's going to hurt by the time I get done with you, but in a good way. So join me for that. Again, it's on the 15th from 9 a.m. Eastern Time, New York time, to 12. A couple more, and then I'm out of here. Mikey Main. Dude, that's a rock star name. Mikey Main. Mikey Main. Great content. Thank you, Mikey. Happy New Year to you as well, man. Thank you very much. Abu, thank you, man. Showing the love. I appreciate that. I doubled my email engagement by adding the prospect's name in the campaign emails. Simple things, right? It's what we talked about. Sometimes it's just simple things. Isn't that amazing? Congratulations, man. And confirming, Jasmine, that it is on the 16th, so that's going to be cool. All right, so today's topic is not going to be complicated, and because you're a smart group, I don't need to talk to you about goals. But one of the things I want to do is I want to kind of take a step back, and I want to share with you like my goals, right, for this coming year. Now, for those of you who are with me from the beginning of Sales After Dark, when we went into lockdown, it was around end of March here in Georgia, then April, the realization really hits. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to do this Sales After Dark after giving it much thought. And I committed to 100 episodes. And again, many of you were with me all the way through the journey. And so doing 100 episodes was very difficult. As I mentioned during the celebration of episode 100, doing 100 episodes, if you think about it, 100 episodes, it's almost like you have to do 2 episodes a week. But I started in May, so I had to kind of do 3 a week. And so it was really hard to do that. But what kept me going, several things kept me going. One is I made a verbal commitment. I've talked about this in past episodes that once you say something verbally, once you announce it, what happens then is that you commit to that goal. It's because you've announced it. You've made it public. Second, I knew you, my tribe, were watching me. Do you know what I mean? It's like I knew you guys were saying, is he really going to make it to 100? Because I have friends go, are you really going to do 100? I was like, I'm going to do 100. And there were times where I didn't want to do them. I'm telling you, there were times where I just said no. But then that little part of my brain was like, got to do it. Got to do it, man. You said you were going to do it. And if you don't do it, you can never talk about setting goals again. I mean, that's what I actually told myself. If you can't do it, then you can't talk about setting goals again. And so when I did it, there was this relief that I felt. Thank you guys again. And so, when we talk about goals, we've all, you guys know this acronym, right? How to set SMART goals, right? The first one is, and then I'm going to challenge you, is to be specific, right? That's the first part. You got to be very specific. That's the essence SMART goal. For me, I was very specific. I'm going to do 100 episodes of Sales After Dark, right? And then the second part of that, is it, my board's going crazy here, is it measurable? Is it measurable? And of course, 100 is measurable, right? The third part was, is it attainable? Can I attain it? In other words, can I attain that, right? And the answer is, that's where some of the doubts started coming in, because I was like, can I attain it? Can I actually do 100? But in my brain, I go, yeah, I can do 100. I know I can do 100. Then the other one was, is it relevant? Now, this is important. Is it relevant? And let's talk about this one. I'm going to have to reset the board. Once in a while, it does that. In fact, I'm going to reset it right now because it's misbehaving. And so hold on. By the way, you get to see this live, what I do. For some reason, when I use it for a long period of time, I have to do a reset. And all it does is I just restart it right there, and it'll restart, reboot, and it clears off the cache. But as I was doing the 100, like, it was specific, it was measurable, right? It was attainable. That was the third part. But the fourth part was it relevant? Now, this is important. Was it relevant? In other words, when I set a goal, was it something that was relevant to what I needed to be doing? And of course it was, because it was sales. When I came up with the concept of Sales After Dark, I was thinking, okay, I'm that sales guy, right? That's what I focus in on, sales, specifically sales. And I said, what can I do that's relevant to sales that would be different than what everybody else is doing, right? That other people are doing, that I could do myself. So again, it was what? Specific, right? Specific, it was measurable, it was attainable. Yeah, I can do it. I know I can do it. And then, was it relevant to my business? And the answer is yes. And then the last one, was it timely? Now this one, I got to be honest, I failed on that one because I didn't set a time frame. Well, the only time frame I had is I wanted to finish it before the end of the year, but I didn't put a specific date, right? So I kind of failed. Give me half credit for that. But what happens was this kept me going, right? It was specific, it was measurable, it was attainable, it was relevant. I keep hitting that word relevant because if you try to do something that isn't you, it's not going to work. You're going to give up. You'll start out with a lot of energy, but what will happen is you'll give in. And I'll explain that more in just a little bit. And the last part, did you give yourself a time frame, right? Now, this is one model of setting goals, right? Now, let me give you one more model. I was listening to, on Instagram, I was listening to Chris Gardner. Remember that movie that Will Smith did? Oh, I forgot the name of the movie, about happiness. Remember, he was a stockbroker? Well, Chris Gardner is the actual guy that the movie was based on. And he has something called the C5 when it comes to actually setting goals. So I want to share the C5, but I'm going to make a twist. Maybe I'm going to call it a C6. Here's why. Let me walk through his model. He says, if you want to be successful, if you truly want to be successful, just follow his model when it comes to setting goals. The first one is the goal has to be very clear, right? That's the first. And this is his C5 model, right? Chris Gardner, C5 model. First, it has to be clear. What is it that you want to do? I like his second word. His second word was, it has to be concise. Now, let's talk about this one. Concise means it has to be simple, not complicated. It has to be simple. 100 episodes of Sales After Dark. Simple. Not complicated. I could remember that. You could wake me out of a dead sleep and I knew what that goal was. And sometimes if it's too complicated, the goal, or it's not clearly defined, not clear, then what happens is it doesn't have the power, is what I think he's trying to say. It doesn't have the power, and I agree with him. If it's not clear and concise, it just doesn't have the power to push you through those times when you want to give up. The third part was, it has to be, now here's where he used an interesting word. He used the word compelling. The word compelling means like it has to attract you. It has to be something you kind of want to do. It's something that just, you know what I mean? It's something that sits here, or maybe even sits here. You've been thinking about doing it, and now's the time to launch into it. It has to be compelling. But if you really think about SMART goals, he's also saying compelling to me means it has to be relevant. It has to mean something to you. It has to be part of who you are, right? So that's the third one. The fourth one was, and I thought this was interesting, he says it has to be consistent. And that's what I tried to do. I try to be consistent, which is what? Every day. In my case, every 3 days a week, I was doing something. I was being very consistent about going online. And again, I was having technical problems at times. Sometimes I started a little late. Sometimes I totally got it wrong because my atomic clock didn't work. But still, I was consistent. I think I only missed one day. And so I was consistent. And the last part, this one should come as no surprise. You have to be committed. And I think this one and consistency is where most people fail. The thing is, we can all set a goal. That's an easy one. You can probably be clear and concise too, probably get that. You can probably make it compelling, something important. But consistency and committed come together. Consistency is you're doing it constantly. Committed is you're dedicated to the long-term goal. What are you trying to do? The other word I want to add to this model, and which I would call it then the C6, I thought, is I like the word congruent. And this to me, I'm going to put a heart around this one because that means something to me. This is important. Many people don't talk about this when they set their goals. It has to be congruent. Earlier we talked about relevant, which in the SMART model there's relevant. It also means congruent. By congruent, I mean it has to be part of who you are. Do you know what I mean? It has to be something that you want to do, something that you like doing, something that you want to move in that direction of. You may not have all the answers, but it's congruent with who you are. It's like when I train salespeople, right? And people always say, Victor, how could I sell like you? To which I always respond, you don't want to sell like me, you want to sell like you. Because if you try to sell like me, you're not being congruent, right? Because you're trying to be somebody you're not. But when you sell the way you sell, you're very congruent. When you sell what you want to sell, you're congruent. We're at a point right now at the beginning of the year, right? It's the beginning of the year. And what's going to happen right now is you're going to set some goals. And you're probably going to make it all the way through January. You're going to hit these goals. Not a big deal. It was day 3 right now, January 3rd. You're going to hit the goals, right? Whether it's go to the gym, whatever it may be. It's going to be something. Go to the gym, eat better, whatever. You're going to hit the goals. But here's the reality. That the majority of people within the third month, by the third month, I'll say about, and I'm guessing at the number, but I'm pretty close, I bet 80% of you will forget what your goals even were. Which is why I think the Chris Gardner one is important, this up here, clear and concise. Because if you know you have 1, 2, no more than 3, I wouldn't do more than 3 goals. Just what is it going to be? What are the top 3 goals and give them a priority? Now, here's the way I look at things. I get 3 goals, right? And I'll share my goals with you in just a bit. And I don't have to hit all 3. I'm going to try to hit all 3, but the one I have to hit is the big one, what I call the high leverage goal. The high leverage goal is the one that I know will benefit me the most in the long run. And what's interesting about it, when you set these goals, people are going to think, maybe you're going to come up with a goal that's a little crazy, that's a little different. When I started to do Sales After Dark 3 times a week, people were telling me, literally, Victor, why are you giving away your content for free? Why would you do that 3 times a week? You're not getting paid. Why would you do that, Victor? It's almost like you're giving stuff away, and why would I pay for anything? The whole thing. And you hear that negative talk, right? And I remember thinking to myself, you don't get it. You don't get it. Because in my mind, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to deliver content. I wanted to hang out with you 3 times a week. I had a goal to do 100 because I wanted to see if I can do it. Plus, I knew that along the journey, I would learn a lot, which I did. And I also knew that along the journey, I would make some money, and I did. And I haven't really talked about that, but it's like the law of attraction. If nobody knows you exist, right, then you're not going to attract any. Look, when I do Sales After Dark, I do these Sales After Dark. I don't know where this video, this live stream is going to land. I don't know where it's going to land. And so what was happening is, as I was doing these live streams, I was getting calls via email, right, or text, whatever it may be, from people from all parts of the world. I'm not joking. From all parts of the world who wanted me to coach them because they saw me, they saw the content, they go, I want you to coach me. I'd had companies contact me, says, can you do a virtual workshop? Can you do a virtual keynote? Made money that way too. I've had companies license the Sales Velocity Academy, something I've never done. Says, hey, we like your Sales Velocity Academy. We want to license it for our whole sales team. And how did you find me? Oh, I saw you on that live stream at night, Sales After Dark. See what I mean? But again, from the outside looking in, people are like, why are you doing it for free? And I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get it. Because this is marketing. Would you agree? This is marketing, but I have to give great content. So let's kind of balance that out. You could be marketing, but if you don't get great content, it doesn't mean anything. What am I trying to tell you? Is that I don't care what your goal is. I need you to set a goal. I need it to be clear and concise, maybe follow the 5, but mostly number 6. It has to be who you are and what you want to do. Because sometimes you don't know where the money's coming from or how it's going to flow in. Nobody knows. I've talked about this in the past that, the anxiety we feel now, post-pandemic, I mean, we're still in it, but you know what I mean. We're into the pandemic, hopefully coming out the other side, light at the end of the tunnel, right? And what happened, this anxiety people feel, is because they feel like they've lost this control, right? You talk to salespeople, and they feel this anxiety because they've lost this sense of control. See, salespeople tell you, look, Victor, I used to be in the room talking face-to-face with clients, and I knew that I could sell them if I was speaking face-to-face. Well, now they don't have that opportunity. And what they're feeling is this anxiety because they no longer have control over the sales process. But here's the funny thing. They never had control. They had the illusion of control. Let me say that again. You never had control. We all have the illusion of the control, but we don't really have any control over what happens. We don't. We try to control it, and the anxiety comes in when we can't control it. But in reality, we only have the illusion of control. What does this have to do with goals? When you're setting your goal, you can't see the ripple effect of what's going to happen. You can't see the unintended consequences of what's coming down the road. You just can't. It's like you can't see what's around the corner till you walk to the corner and then look around the corner. Do you know what I mean? And so when people, what will happen is that you'll set a goal, and then people start, just worming their way into your brain, just trying to get in there into your brain, just trying to what? Trying to convince you, why are you doing that? Why? And a lot of people don't say, well, that's a dumb idea. They don't say stuff like that. They'll go like, I don't know if I would do that. Really? You do that? Wow, okay, I guess that's a good idea. And they say things like that, and all of a sudden it demotivates you, and then month 2 comes, you give up on your goal. Why? Because somebody else said it ain't gonna work. Somebody else wasn't enthusiastic about your goal. And because they didn't show you that love, that affection, that energy, you're like, well, maybe I chose the wrong goal. See, it has nothing to do with them. This is the congruent part. It has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with what you want to do. So as you're building your business, if you're an entrepreneur right now and you're building your business, find things that fit within that business. That's being congruent. Set goals that are within that business. Find those high leverage goals, right? Things you can do to move the business. And again, you may not have all the answers. Anybody who tells you, hey, you know what, I started the business from A to Z, I knew what was going to happen, is lying. Lying. They're lying. If you work in the company, guess what? You have no control. You think you do, but you don't, right? Because tomorrow, well, we know what happened. The pandemic can come. The economist Joseph Schumpeter always talked about creative destruction. Creative destruction is when something happens or changes so dramatically in the market, something is introduced, in this case, a pandemic, or back in the day, the iPhone was introduced. That was a game changer. And all of a sudden, the market went through these shifts. Real estate market goes down, boom, crashes. All of a sudden, everything's in the mix. Creative destruction. We have no control. You don't. But what you can do, and you do have control over, is the goals you set. See, this is the important part. I can't control the noise. I can't control everything else. I can't control how much business I'm going to get. So I ask myself, what can I control? And this is where goal setting comes in. What can I control? I can control my mindset. I got that. I can control my behavior. Got that. My activities, big time. This is good. But if I set the goal, that will drive the activity, that will drive the behavior, that will drive the mindset. That's why setting goals is that important. But here's the thing. As you're moving down the road to goals, will you have to make adjustments? Of course you can. You may have to. But if you say to yourself, well, the reason I'm not setting goals is because I'm not clear where I want to go. Fine. I get that. If you're not clear on where you want to go, this is the part for you. There's 4 directions: north, south, west, east. Pick one.
As long as you know you're moving in the general direction of what you want, that is the beginning of goal setting. Because I'd rather have you move in the general direction than not move and keep thinking about what you've been wanting to do. See, I'm talking to that one person right now watching this that has been thinking about doing something and hasn't done anything for the last 5 years. You've had that idea for at least 5 years. You've wanted to try something for at least 5 years. You want to do something for at least 5 years, but you keep thinking about it. And you keep thinking about all the things that could go right or could go wrong. And our brain has a tendency to emphasize those things that could go wrong. So I am saying to you, set the goal. So that's what I do. I set goals. But I set simple goals. I don't try to get complicated. I just try to move in a certain direction, and then I let the universe. I hate to get spiritual on you because I'm not that type of guy. But guess what? I believe in the law of attraction. Now, I don't believe in the magical law of attraction. Not like that. Not like the secret. Not like that. Here's what I believe. If you put out great content, if you do great work, if you serve people well, good things will happen. They always do. They always do. It never fails. I'm telling you, I wish I could get in my head to see how many times I do something for the sake of doing it, because I want to do it to be congruent with who I am. And I know I'm not going to make any money right there and then, but in the long run, it always pays off. And even if it doesn't matter because I'm doing it my way. So I'm asking you right now to think about your goals for this year. Just 1, 2, no more than 3. Keep them simple, make them measurable, but make sure they're congruent with what you want to do. Me, I like to build the sales space. I love sales. I love sales. I love the whole process of selling. I love salespeople, right? I love marketing. Yeah, I love business. I love profit. I like making money, all that stuff. But I like selling because I know that if you can sell, by the way, which is why I always talk about my Sales Velocity Academy. The reason I love my academy so much is because I know, and I've said this before, if you can sell, you'll always have a job. No doubt, not in my mind. If you can sell, you'll always have a job. Think about that for a second. You're never going to have to worry about a job if you can sell. Because every company, without exception, even nonprofits, need somebody to raise funds for them. You always have to sell something. So keep that in mind. And so for me, my goals are oriented around sales. That's being congruent. So this year, my goals are very simple. I'm going to do 2 webinars a month. How's that for specific? 2 webinars a month, which is a lot of work. 2 half-day webinars a month. So that's every 2 weeks, I'm going to do a half-day webinar. So I'm committed to doing 24 of these, right? Now, I don't know what these are all going to be yet because I have to define a few of them. Have an idea of what I want to do in terms of content, but in my mind, I'm going, let me move in that direction. Do I have all the answers? No. Do I think it's going to work? No. Do I know if people are actually going to show up to my webinar? No, but that's not the point, because here's what it is. I want you to think about this for a second. As I'm moving towards something, I've learned to separate personal from process. Personal from process. See, personally, I'm going to do 2 webinars a month. I'm going to do them. With or without you, I'm going to do them. I'm going to do them, right? And something good's going to happen. I know it will, right? As long as I put out great content, something good will happen. Now, if nobody shows up to my webinar, am I going to be bummed out? No, because that would be taking it personal. Am I going to be depressed? The answer is no, because that would be taking it personal. The thing is, it's not personal. There's something wrong with my process. So what I do is I then look at my process. I go, what could I do better? Right? It's like I'm talking to my processes right here. I'm talking to my process. I go, how do I need to improve you? Because apparently that last webinar didn't work for us. And that's how I do it. I don't take it personal. I just say, what's wrong with my process? And that's what will happen throughout the year. So that's my first commitment. The second goal is obviously to continue with the 2 interviews a week with the help of my man, Chris Stone. So that's the second one. That's an easy one. The new one, the third one, third priority, has a third priority. I'm gonna try this. Now this one has what I call a soft goal, because I'm gonna see how it works. I'm gonna do one interview, sales influence interview, but I'm gonna do it in Spanish. So I'm gonna interview
people in Spanish. And we're going to do that. And let's see how that goes. That's my third goal for the year. So I have those 3 goals that I've set for the year. So one, the big one is 2 webinars a month. I'm telling you, I'm going to do 2 webinars a month. I don't care if nobody shows up for all 24. I'm doing 24, right? But I know what's going to happen. Law of attraction always kicks in. I'm going to continue to do the interviews. 2 interviews a week with the help of Chris Stone. And guess what? I'm telling you again, something beautiful is going to happen. I'm going to do those Spanish interviews. And I'm telling you, and I'll report it to you, something good's going to happen. And I'll let you know. And so those are my 3 goals. But the big point is, besides talking about SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, timely. And then Chris Gardner's 5 C's plus my 1 C. At the end of the day, it comes down to the commitment piece, which you talked about. You have to be committed. If you're not committed, that's where it falls apart. But you also have to be consistent. So if you're committed, you're consistent, and you're congruent with who you are, and it's clear, I think your goal setting will become that much easier. So I'm hoping that this is going to motivate you to set at least 3 goals. 3 goals. Like I said, the first one is the must do. The second one is you gotta do. The third one, something new. Call that the stretch goal. That's my stretch goal. The one in Spanish is gonna be my stretch goal. It's gonna go well. I think it's gonna go well. I actually think it's gonna go super well. But I'll tell you, as I go through the process, what begins to happen. And I'm asking you to trust me on this one. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Trust me. Pick a direction. I don't care if you're fuzzy and unclear about what you want to do. Pick a direction. Just go that way, right? And just pick a direction. And what's going to happen is, as you move towards the goal, you're going to wobble, right? You're going to keep wobbling, you're going to move, but you'll start getting your legs underneath you. You'll start figuring it out. And then at the end of the year, if you do it, you're going to look back and you're going to feel good about yourself. Because believe it or not, I finished 2020 in a very good way, right? I know a lot of people have had it hard. I get that. I sympathize, if not empathize with you, for those who had it that way. But for me, it was a good year. Now, I don't know what 2021 holds. For all I know, it could be a disaster. But I'm going to do everything I can to prevent that from happening. How? By continuing to what? Set new goals and higher level. That's what I'm asking you to do. So don't be afraid. If you've been thinking about doing something, man, come on. This is the year to do it. If this pandemic has taught us anything, is life is too short. And if we don't do something, we're screwed, right? We're going to live with regret. That's the worst thing you can do, is live with regret. Right now, you talk to anybody in your family who's over, let's say, 70 or 80, and ask them, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently? And you know what they're going to tell you? I wish I spent more time with my family. That's an easy one, right? The second one I know they're going to tell you is, I wish I would have done fill in the blank. I wish I would have done fill in the blank. And living with that regret is hard. And I'm saying, I don't want you to end 2021 with regret. Are there going to be ups and downs in the market? Absolutely. Is it going to be chaotic and unpredictable? Yeah, but every year is the same thing. But the one thing you can't control is your goal, your consistency. Are you committed, and is it congruent with what you want to do? So on that note, I'll get off my soapbox. I shared my goals with you, and I hope you've at least taken away some ideas. But the big message overall is, you don't have all the answers, and you don't have control. But what you do have control over is moving in a certain direction. Just literally move in a certain direction. It could be that way, back that way, back. Doesn't matter. Pick a direction. And as you move, you'll learn and you'll adjust. And I'm telling you, you'll begin to see as you get closer. It's almost like if it starts focusing in. You start focusing in on what you want. But if you just sit there and keep thinking about it like you've been doing for the last couple of years, it's never going to happen. And I'm telling you right now, man, if you do it, beautiful things are going to happen. I know it. If you just do it for 1 year, just do something for 1 year. At the end of the year, if nothing happens after 1 year, if you're consistent, congruent, right, and you're committed, and after 1 year, this time next year, nothing's happened, then you can yell at me. I'll let you come on live and send a video and you can yell at me. How's that? But I know that you're not going to be the same. You're going to go through the process. You're not be the same, because I want you to set the goal, because in a month or two, you're going to forget. And if you forget, I want you to come back and watch this whole video all over again. So anyway, I'll take some comments. They've been scrolling off here to the side, so let's go ahead and take some comments. I don't even know where to start right here, man. Someone just go all the way to the top. So you guys are awesome, man. Thank you for hanging out. Like I said, I debated whether to do one on Sunday, man, because I thought you guys were chilling, probably still sipping pina coladas or whatever you do. I missed a lot of you guys, so I'm going to pick anywhere to start. I know I got my niche right here, so let me see. I know I got that one. You got the pen. Okay, I'm going to start somewhere around right here. I think I'm going to start with Michael here. Thank you for your virtual training. Can't wait to, okay, I think that's where we left off. Great content, my man. I got that. January 16th, confirm that. I'm just trying to catch up because it was scrolling. I'm going to leverage your training on the 16th, connect with the real estate agents and mortgage professionals I'm trying to cross-market financial services with. I love it, man. Law of attraction, speak into it, exactly. And it's yeah, I guess you can look at it that way. You speak it into existence, I think, but I think it's not so much speaking it to existence, Mikey. I think it's also, you call it into existence because you start doing something. See, anybody can speak it, right? But when you start walking it and doing it, which I know it's what you mean. I know it's what you mean. But I think that's what we got to emphasize. It's if you're not doing something, nothing's going to happen. It isn't. And too many people always tell me, Victor, you know, I'm motivated, I'm positive. I said, what are you doing? Well, I'm motivated and positive. That's not going to help. Pete, man, Pimo, thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Here's the link, boom, for the event. Dave Fisher, thanks, Victor. Happy New Year to everyone. Pursuit of Happiness. Thank you, Henry Lee. Thank you, Henry Lee. That was it. That was the title. So that's the same Chris Gardner, man. So you guys got it, man. My man, Brian Gator, what's happening? Didn't get the notifications. Hey, man, we're just kind of, getting started here, man. So you guys saying hi to each other. Sparrow's Tail is back. Happy New Year to you, man. Happy New Year to you. Let me see. Living is about giving. There you go. Straight from the man who dresses well, Mark Fonseca. Yep, right on, man. Okay, got some high fives there. Ada, what's happening? Great to be here. Happy New Year, by the way, Ada. You guys are talking to each other. We got Raghav, Senga, Victor, may this year be the best one for all of us. That's right. Let's make it a team effort, man. Let it be great for all of us on this, because I think we got to have a great year, man. I think we're due for a great year, man. High value, no cost. Just joking. Free content. Hi. From Sydney. Hello as well, man. Dean Hankey, what's happening? Because you are a super studly winks, brother Victor Antonio. Help people get real results in advance and everyone wins. I think that's it, Dean, isn't it? If you just, part of the being congruent or being consistent, it really helps when you want to give. I'm not saying, when I say that, people say, do you not care about making money? Of course I do. But again, I really believe that if you put value out into the universe, like real value that people go, I can use that, then that attracts people who want to offer you value. So thank you for that, man. My man, Doug Lehman, breaking it down in layman's terms. Good topic to jumpstart the new year. Goal setting 2021. Happy New Year in layman's terms, man. Thank you. Mikey, what's happening? You can get that same presence if you're doing a virtual demonstration, even if it's just them clicking the links while you tell them to, rather than cold emailed, even how warm you think it may be. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm with you on that. Let me see. Dean, right back at you, man. What do you got, man? It's been a full-time touring musician / illusionist. I've been a full-time, as illusionist, as well as a speaker, trainer, author. Control is just an illusion. That's all it is. It is just an illusion, man. Success is a verb. It requires action regardless of how you feel. Just do it anyway, man. That part right there, regardless of how you feel, because sometimes you don't feel like doing it, right? You just don't feel like doing it. I want you to know that I'm normal just like you. Sometimes I don't want to do it. I just don't. But I go, all right. Like tonight was a perfect example. I'm thinking, I'm still in like holiday mode. I'm thinking, well, tomorrow's Monday. I think I should take this Sunday off. And it's like, just go do it. Let's go do it. So anyway, I'm glad I do it. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate that, man. Come on now. Parich, brother. Thank you, man. You're too funny, Dean. Good topic to jumpstart the year. Gotcha, man. Happy New Year. A couple more. I'm just jumping off. Wow, that's a strong statement. If you can sell, you'll always have a job. Let's go, salespeople. Dave, I believe that 100%. I mean, you think about it. You can walk into any company. If you can sell, imagine this. You walk into any company, because I usually have to re-emphasize this. You walk into any company and you say, let me sell your products. And they say, no, we can't afford to sell your products. No. I'm not asking you to pay me. I said, I'm going to go sell your products. And when I sell your products, I just want a commission. Is that okay? What do you think they're going to say? Of course they're going to say yes. And if you can sell it, you're going to do well, man. You're going to do well. Lifetime SBA member also, man. Thank you, man. By the way, so we do have a monthly, annual, and a lifetime membership for the Sales Velocity Academy. And again, if you're doing the monthly or the annual, you cancel anytime, man. So, and by the way, I got something special coming for the Sales Velocity Academy. I got something special for you members, man. I got something really good. I think you're going to like what I got, man. Spanish interview would be awesome, but please translate. No, we're not going to translate those. Love it, Victor. What would you do if you say you set a deadline of the goal and coming to the deadline, it's still not achieved? Would you extend it, lower the goal, or consider it failed? Analyze and rewrite. Oh, that's a good question. Rod's always got some good ones, man. You know, one of the things I liked about, I like Jordan Peterson. You know, I don't know how you guys feel about Jordan Peterson, the guy who wrote the Rules of Life, 12 Rules of Life, something like that. I like watching him speak. The book's like too heavy for me. But one of the things, he was on the Joe Rogan show. And I'm going to answer your question, Rod, because I'm going a roundabout way, but I'll get there. And, you know, Joe Rogan was talking to him about, you know, goal setting and success, you know. And so Jordan Peterson was making the statement that anybody can be successful. He says, you just got to set some goals. He goes, well, for some people, it's hard to set goals. He goes, no, it's not. And Rogan's like, what do you mean, no, it's not? I'm so paraphrasing what he said. He goes, no, it's not. He goes, here's what you do. He says, and he says this to Joe Rogan. He says, in order to be successful, all you have to do is lower the goals. And Joe Rogan just stopped, right? Joe Rogan's like, what do you mean lower your goals? It's almost like compromising. He says, no. He says, that's not the way to look at it. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, some people don't set goals because they're afraid that they won't achieve them. Because they're afraid they won't achieve them, they don't start them because they don't want to feel bad about themselves. So I'd rather not do something than do something and not hit it and feel bad about myself. And some people won't do a goal because they go, I just can't do that. I can't commit that amount of time. I can't commit that amount of effort. So Joe says, no, that's the wrong point of view. He says, what you need to do is lower your goals. He goes, what does that mean? So for example, and I'm giving you my example, if I tell somebody you should read for, 30 minutes a day, and they'll say, Victor, I don't have time to read 30 minutes a day. I said, okay, we'll set a lower goal. He says, you say 25 pages, 20 pages, 15 pages, 2, 1 page. Can you do one? Can you do one? Yeah, I can do one, Victor. They'll say, yeah, I can do one. And then what happens naturally is you do the one. And then you read the 1 page a day, and next thing you know, you're going to find yourself, what's going to happen. You're going to find yourself reading 1, 2. But by lowering the goal and then stepping over the goal, you feel this sense of momentum. That's what I loved about that statement, Rod, that you feel a sense of momentum. See, when you set a goal and you don't hit it, now I can answer your question. It's not that you failed. There were things maybe you didn't anticipate. But here's what we do to ourselves. We look at that and we say, I failed to hit my goal. That's why I don't set goals. Damn it, that's why I don't set goals. See, that's exactly why, because I don't hit them. But that's the wrong way of looking at it. Because what you should also look at, which I think is more important, is what have you done up to that point? If you put in the time and the effort and you didn't hit the goal, it isn't because you failed. It's just circumstances didn't work out. Illusion of control. You thought you were in control. You're not. But what we don't do is that we're too quick to castigate ourselves, to criticize ourselves, but we never celebrate all the little things we got right. Did you ever notice that? We just don't celebrate all the things we got right up to that point. I didn't hit my goal, but did I learn something? Did I do a lot of things that I didn't do before? Was I consistent? I was consistent. I just didn't hit it. Remember, I don't take it personal. It's the process. Something in my process has to change. So now I look at the process and I said, okay, I didn't hit my goal. What do I need to change in the process? Because I'm doing what I said I would do. And I did everything I could. That's all you can do. And if it didn't work out, then let's look at the process. So that's how I would answer this question. So would I shift out the deadline? Of course I would. If I did not hit 100 episodes by the end of the year, it didn't matter. The question was I had to hit 100 episodes and I hit my goal, right? And so I wouldn't feel depressed. I go, it took longer than I expected. It's harder than I thought, and I acknowledge that. I said, next time what I'll do is I'll create a process where I know I'll be able to manage that. So that's why I separate the personal from the process, because if you start criticizing the personal, now, let me emphasize this. Let me finish the statement. If you start criticizing the personal and not the process, you just kind of wind up, sticking yourself in a hole and you don't do anything. Now, that said, the caveat is, you should have followed through. Were you committed? Remember the 5 C's? Were you committed and consistent? And if you were committed and consistent and you didn't hit it, the process didn't work. Life didn't cooperate with you, because sometimes life doesn't cooperate you. You do everything right and life simply doesn't cooperate with you. That's life. That's the stuff that happens. But again, we get inside our heads, and I think that hurts us. One of the books, by the way, before I go, one of the books, in fact, I decided that this was the book of 2020. People always ask me, Victor, what are your favorite sales books, this and that. The book that I'm going to recommend that I read in 2020, the book, top of the shelf book, okay? The only one that the one that I think impacted me the most, and I don't remember the author's name, so I do apologize if they're seeing this, is a book called Positive Intelligence. And I covered this in one of my Sales After Dark. That is the winner, if I can put it that way, of the 2020, the winner of the 2020 Victor Antonio Book Award is Positive Intelligence. Shahad, I think his last name. I can't forget his. I forgot his name. I should have looked it up. But the book was so impactful because it talks about all the voices you have in your head, right? All these negative thoughts and how you label them, identify them, and then how you can stop them. I'm telling you, it is a great book, a game changer if you're looking to stay in a positive state of mind. So if you're looking to kick off 2021, may I suggest Positive Intelligence? And again, it is the book I have chosen to represent all the books I've read in 2021 and 2020. This is top shelf, numero uno, number one book, highly recommended. So anyway, do a couple more comments. You guys keep going. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I just wanted to talk about goals. And if I didn't answer your comments, I'll try to come back later on in YouTube. But anyway, set some goals. Again, be specific, be mindful. But the last part is you got to be congruent. Make sure that it's part of who you are. I don't know if I'm transmitting that or I'm repeating myself and not really explaining that. But if it isn't who you are, if it isn't part of who you are, and it's not congruent with who you are, it's not going to work for you. So again, the second part is just try something. Even if you've been thinking about it, just try it. Just start moving in that direction. Let's not let another year go by without you trying it. And if you fail, so what? I believe that even if you fail, you obviously are going to learn something. But sometimes it's better to try something and say, you know what, I don't like that. And it's okay. Listen to me. It is okay to change your mind. You ever try something, you think you wanted to do it, and I'll end on this. You think you wanted to do it, and you start doing it. And then you go, I don't like this. Has that ever happened to you? Come on, man. Has that ever happened to you? Hit me with a what if that's ever happened to you. You start doing something. You thought you wanted to do it, and then you stop doing it because you go, I don't like it. Now, there's two responses to that. The first response is going to be a lot of people say, you know what? That's why I don't like doing things, because it turns out that I'm not going to like it, so therefore I'm not going to do these things. And you stop yourself from doing any future experimenting because the last time you tried something, you didn't like it. So you don't trust yourself to actually make that decision to move forward, because the last time you tried it, you did it, but you didn't like it. And so now you don't trust yourself. And because you don't trust yourself, you won't try something new. And that is a recipe for failure. That is a recipe for disappointment for the rest of your life. The other attitude is, you tried it, you didn't like it, okay, let's X that out. And from that experience, what did I take away? What did I like and what didn't I like? Now you have more information to work with, so when you make the next decision, it'll be that much smarter. So keep that in mind. Try it, and even if you don't like it, figure out, have some takeaways from that, what I liked, what I didn't like, take that information, and then go to the next one. On that note, this is Victor Antonio signing off. Again, let's make it a great 2021. Happy New Year to everybody. And for those of you who've been with me from the beginning, again, thank you very much. Episode 101. We'll see you next Sunday for episode 102. Check out the information for the webinar below. Hope to see you there.